Good day, nerds. Welcome to the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast, the podcast where we dive into the world of movies and TV shows, explore the multiverse, see what the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly of what is presented to us. My name is James. Welcome. Hope you're having a good day. And this is episode 23. And we're back in the movie section of the multiverse. And today we are talking about probably one of the underrated, I think, of supernatural horror films out there. I myself am a skeptic, but this movie is a real good one. I really enjoy this. We're talking Paranormal Activity, so get ready to be scared out of your living mind, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you very much all for tuning in. The last 22 episodes, we do appreciate it. Last week we talked about Dexter's Laboratory, which I thought talking about it was pretty cool. I thought it'd be a shorter episode, but it turned out to be a really good one, about 45 minutes in total. So I'm really happy with that. But this week, we've gone from really happy and enjoyable to something completely terrifying and scary. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. We are talking Paranormal Activity, which first released on October 14th, 2007 at Screamfest. It was released in the United States on the 25th of September, 2009, and it was released worldwide October 16th, 2009. Have a good one, guys. Let's go. Okay, Paranormal Activity. Wow. What can I say about this film? This film is like really good fun. Well, not good fun. It's quite terrifying in some aspects. People who know me know I'm not the biggest horror fan. I find horror films quite predictable. There are a few that I do like. Hellraiser, for example. And this, really, these are pretty much the only horror films that I will watch. Some people will probably be like, "Oh, they're not real horror films." Gosh dang it! I know, but at the end of the day, a film's a film, right? Who gives a damn? So Paranormal Activity is one of these like unique and cheaply made films, I might add. This film was originally developed as like an independent feature, which was shown off at a film festival screening in 2007. And the film was shot for $15,000. This is like the lowest costing movie that I've reviewed on the podcast. Excuse me. And Paramount was so impressed by it. They were so impressed by it, they thought, hey, let's release it as a full feature theater release. They modified the ending, so the ending of this movie is different from what it was originally. And with the changes to the ending, it added the cost of the film went up to $200,000, which is actually it's still really cheap. And it was given a limited US release on September 25th, 2009, and then released nationwide October 16th, 2009. So it was released gradually, but we'll talk about like the what the film earned during that. I mean, bloody hell. The cost of it, the total cost of it, the production was $15,000, as I said, because it was an independent film. Post-production, $215,000, and at the box office, it smashed the box office by making $194.2 million. That for me is absolutely fantastic. Fantastic, really good for independent film. It was directed and written by Oren Peli. I don't know what other films he's done. I'm guessing he's done the other paranormal films, which we'll talk about subsequently, in the future. Because this is a series that are about 7 films, I think. 7 films. Oh, I didn't know there was a 7th. I knew there was 6 films, but there was a 7th one released in 2021, which I didn't know, which I will do my research for. So the plot of it, it's got something to do with paranormal, it's Paranormal Activity, right? It's all about ghosts, ghouls, demons. This particular bit is a bit of a demon. So, the movie opens up as if it's like a crime video. It's like it's shot really, really well. There is a minimal cast in this. This is about 5 actors in this, and it's all centered around one camera. So this is around the era where movies were like shot with handhelds, like Paranormal Activity, obviously. Cloverfield was another one. I think there was another film as well, but I can't really picture. But those 2 really stand out in my mind of what first person views of movies were. And this was shot in a way that it happened like it happened in real life. It's shot really well. The opening credits, there's no music. There's literally no music to this movie, which makes it especially unique. The music, the stuff that you heard in the intro and the interlude that you're going to be pretty much hearing is literally just the same sound. It's the sound that happens when the demon appears in the movie. So it comes out saying, the family of Mika, the characters based around Katie and Mika, boyfriend and girlfriend who've just moved in a new house in San Diego. Katie claims an evil spirit an evil presence has been haunting her since her childhood. So Mika sets up a camera in the bedroom to record any paranormal activity, hence the name Paranormal Activity, that occurs while they're sleeping. Psychic Dr. Fredericks, I could be saying this wrong, visits Katie and Mika, who suggests Katie is being haunted by a demon that feeds off of negative energy, and it's intent on tormenting her. She says something like this has happened to her when she was young, to her sister Chrissy when they were kids. He advises not to communicate with the demon without a demonologist. But Mika continues to film and seek it out, which obviously is not a good idea. I'm a complete skeptic. These probably do happen in real life, but I'm a skeptic. I don't really want to experience it myself. I know some people will probably be like, "Oh, but you should experience it yourself. You should experience it." I don't really want to experience stuff like that. I believe like if things are meant to be left alone, then leave it alone. And I don't really want to deal with stuff like that. I think a lot of people will be like, "Yeah, that's true." Other people will just go like, "Oh, he's such a pussy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I don't really want to go school or demon hunting my place. This is a place of solitude. I like it here, So they go through this process. Mika is like, no, come on now, let's not call the demonologist. Let's see what we can do about it. See if we can get it away. Obviously, Mika isn't taking it seriously. Katie's like, no, come on, we gotta take this really seriously. But as the movie goes on, you get like little minor things starting to happen through the night. It's all from like a first person perspective, which is really, really, which I love about it. You go through like night 1 where you have like little knocks here and there, a bunch of keys falling on the floor. You think, oh, that's nothing, it's not like they got a ghost there, But then as time goes on, the level of intensity builds up constantly through the movie, which is really, really good and gives this era of this era of intensity, which is constantly built up through the nights and the days. Obviously, they skip a couple of nights because, you know, I think it goes up to like 21 nights. It goes through 21 nights. So you get up to like day 3, and then it skips ahead to day 17, 18, and then that's where the intensity of like the paranormal activity really kicks in. You know, Mika's like, you know, maybe we should buy a Ouija board, and everyone's like, no. The psychic, Katie's friend as well, has said, no, let's not do it. You know, he promises her not to do it, and he's like, yeah, no worries. After a while, you know, you see the door starting to move, and then you're hearing grunts and speeches. One night, Katie ends up in a trance, so she like sits up very gradually, sluggishly. It's like she's sleepwalking. And she stands up on the side of the bed, just staring at Mika. Just literally stands there, and the time goes really, really fast as well. And then it stops after a while. Goes back to normal time, and then she just slowly walks down the stairs. And then it's like a good couple of minutes of just Mika on his own in bed. And all of a sudden the camera pans. Mika's got the camera, he's looking for Katie. Katie's outside. She's like, I don't want to come in. And then everything starts kicking off again. TV comes on abruptly, really loud with static, and Katie's back in. Katie doesn't know what's going on, obviously, because she's in a trance. She doesn't know what to do. And she doesn't even recall it the next day, which is actually really terrifying. But then Mika then breaks his promise, brings a Ouija board home. The couple leave the house. The couple are meant to go out. Katie's furious. They argue, and then all of a sudden, unforeseen forces happen. Like there's a gust of wind come in, and then the Ouija board moves, and then Lanchester's on fire. They come back. They realize what happens. You know, Katie's really, really pissed off at this point, and she should be. I think Mika kind of comes across as a bit of a dick in this, you know, because of how serious it is. It shows his like level of skepticism about the situation. However, they decide that after the Ouija board happens, you know, they decide then. They decide. Well, Mika's like, right, let's do this experiment and let's see what we go. So they like baby powder on the floor and whatnot. And while they're sleeping through the night, the demon obviously walks through, and they're all freaked out because they can see the footprints. Obviously, it's not human. And then they realize there's a noise coming from upstairs. Above them in the attic, and Mika finds a burnt photo of Katie, which Katie hasn't seen in like 15 years, which was from her house fire. And she's obviously distraught, doesn't know what to do. The next day, she tries and calls the demonologist, but the demonologist is out of country, so they call the psychic back again. But as soon as the psychic comes, he's like, "Oh, I can't help you out here because like the forces of evil here is really, really bad." So he abruptly leaves, and it gets more and more intense as we go on here as well. By night 20, you're obviously getting like, you know, the demons walking, running, screaming, slamming doors, hitting doors. You know, by the 20th night, Katie's like pulled out of bed by an unseen force, and Mika tries to get her back, which she does successfully, but realizes in the morning that Katie's actually been bit by something, which motivates him to get out of the house, but Katie abruptly insists staying in. And then there's this freaky scene where she's like, "I don't want to go anywhere anymore," lying in bed, and then all of a sudden her voice is normal, but there's also another voice behind it as well, and it's quite freaky. And she just smiles in like this weird way, which is obviously not her. Doesn't seem like hers, but this is not really hers. It feels like it's somebody else's, and then she goes back to sleep. And obviously, Katie gets out of bed, stares at, by the night 21, which is like the final night. Katie gets out of bed really abruptly this time. Stares at Mika for 2 hours. Literally stares at her for 2 hours. The bedclothes move by an unseen force. And she goes downstairs, and all of a sudden you hear this blood curdling scream. Oh, that freaked me out. Oh, sorry. Brief cutout there. My computer went to sleep as I was talking about that, so that really freaked me out a little bit. You hear this blood curdling screams, and then Mika obviously runs down. And all you hear is Mika screaming. It's like, what the fuck? And everything else like that. And then there's a loud bang and nothing happens. It's dead silent all of a sudden. Then you hear, somebody coming up the stairs really, really loudly. And all of a sudden, Mika's body is thrown towards the camera. Mika is lifeless, dead. Don't know what's happening. All you see is Katie covered in blood on a white tank top. And then she crawls, which is even weirder. She goes down on all fours, starts like sniffing. She crawls over Mika's body and looks like sniffs the body, and then looks up at the camera, goes up to the camera, grins, and then the last scene of the movie is Katie just lunges at the camera, and her first thing is demonic, and then cuts out to black, and then the epilogue text states that Mika's body was discovered by the police and Katie is missing. So this film is really, really, really good. The title of the thing says itself, Paranormal Activity. That's what happens when you sleep. Don't see it alone, and it gives you a bit of the heebie-jeebies, Does stuff like this happen in real life? I don't know. Probably. But it's one of those it's one of those films where it depicts fiction to reality as well, right? Blair Witch Project, that's the other film that's handheld cameras as well. And Close Encounters as well. Close Encounters is another good film. This movie is like quite a unique film for what it is, and it's also really, really really creepy at the same time. And it makes me laugh as well because the cast members, so these are the cast members' names, all right? So it's Katie Featherstone, Mika Slott, and ironically the characters' names are Katie and Mika. So what they've done is they've made the film where the actors use their real names, and it's fictional names, but they've used their real names. Even in the police discussions and stuff like that, they use the real names, which is really, really unique, and it's proper like police evidence video. It's like you're in like a court or a evidence room of a police station, and it's like, this is what we've built so far. This is what we got so far. It's really, really, really well done. The production level on it is incredible. And they've obviously gone on with major successes with like Paranormal Activity 2, 3, 4, the marked ones, and what's the other one? Dimension. Oh, let me find it here. Ghost Dimension. Yeah, the Ghost Dimension as well. So, you got like 6 movies, and apparently there's a new one called The Lost Soul, which I haven't seen myself. Which I'm going to not Dark. No, there was a video game called The Lost Soul, released in 2017, which I might try and find. And the seventh film is called Next of Kin, which I haven't seen yet, so that's the next one I'm gonna see. I'll try and find it somewhere. But obviously, each of the movies we will talk about them another time. But each movie is like unique in itself, but it's telling the same story in different ways. So like they're like sequels, but they're kind of like prequels and, you know, different sequels as well. So like Paranormal Activity 1 or 2 is like a parallel sequel. They're both happening exactly the same time. Paranormal Activity 3 is like the prequel to Paranormal Activity 1, and then Paranormal Activity 4 is like the sequel to Paranormal Activity 1 and 2, you know? And then the Marked Ones is a spin-off, and the Ghost Dimension is also a spin-off, but revolves around the same demon as well. Next of Kin, I have no idea. So yep, you can watch them as like 1, 2, 3, 4 Marked Ones and stuff like that. But then you can also you can also like cheat it up a bit. You could probably do, if you've seen them all loads of times, you probably do Paranormal Activity 3 first, then Paranormal Activity 1 and 2. So I know some people have watched Paranormal Activity 1 and 2 simultaneously, which is quite a cool thing to do. I might do that one day. Now that I got like a 3 monitor set up now, I can like sort it, I can do the 3 together, see how that looks. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite horror films. Consider a horror film. It is a horror film, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know what else to say about it, because the movie is like 86 minutes long, so it's about an hour and a half long. So it's not almost an hour and a half long, and it doesn't feel like an hour and a half long. It kind of feels like an hour at some bits. But obviously the nighttime stuff is like juicy bit of the movies. And the camera work is great. It's literally just one camera, and the actors have a script, obviously, and they're going through the script and everything like that. So it's really, really good. Really, really, really good. And if you haven't watched it, I recommend you guys watching it. It's really, really good fun. Right, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else for me to say about it. Really, really good. No music. Yeah, really, really unique. Right, let's listen to some like of that eerie feeling. Let's get to the outro. So thank you for listening. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for listening. This is episode 23 of the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast, where we're talking about Paranormal Activity. If you want to follow us on everything, you can listen to us all on any audio platform, including Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. I will get these right eventually. My God, I'm so bad at these. And also, just announced earlier on this week, I now have a YouTube channel where the video versions of the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast will be uploaded. So if you go to YouTube and type it and search It's That Nerd James, the It's is with the Z, ITZ, That Nerd James. Follow me, go and subscribe there for free. I've announced as well that I'm coming onto Twitch now, coming back onto Twitch to do some streams as well. Come and hang out, follow me on there. Just gonna play some games. Just gonna play some video games, talk a load of shit, and just have a bit of fun. And you can check me out there. You can also check us out on Instagram, this beautiful podcast Instagram at Multiverse of Entertainment Pod. You can also follow us on TikTok at Mo Podcast as well. All my links will be in the description below, so you don't have to. If you don't remember all that, it's fine. It's there. It's in the description below. Go and check it out. Also, as well, please give us a review. Do appreciate that. Give us a review, a nice one. Or you can give us a bad one. It's up to you. Depends how you like us. Also, as well, if you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like. Like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. The likes will help us grow and get more eyes on you guys as well. And that's about it. Next week we're on episode 24, and we are talking about one of my dad's favorite sitcoms of all time, and probably some of you guys as well. We're going to be talking Scrubs season 1, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to have to hurry up and watch all the Scrubs episodes before I do the podcast. That's going to be a ranking episode as well. And so have a good one, guys. Enjoy the favorite outro music that we all love so much. Let's rock out and see you next week. Have a good one.